So we're Aberdeen University. I'm Daniel.
I'm Susanna.
And I'm Risat.
And we've been developing the PicoPlumber, which is essentially bacteria that's supposed to heal cracks and pipes, kind of like blood clotting in the human body. So once we get like scratches or small microscopic fissures in the pipe, we get a bacteria which kind of go there and fix it, essentially, and then kill themselves, kind of like suicidal plumbers, really.
Good way to put it.
And well, it's a very exciting project, I suppose. Do you guys like want to throw in?
Yes, I mean, we think that it has got a staggering number of applications in the real world, given that a lot of places we have, for example, the hot cooling station where it's inaccessible for the human beings, or in the space station where if there is a leak in the pipe. So we come up with the bacterial solutions and synthetic biology principles to tackle with the problem. So what we do here is actually we get our bacteria to seal the pipe, sensing some of the stimuli present there. So I think the principles and the regulatory matters which we have introduced in our circuit design, it can be beneficial for the later, not only the iGEM teams, I think the researchers in the field to think in that way of working in the place where it's quite inaccessible for the human beings to go and not only sealing pipes. For example, if I take it into medicine, it might be good for the potential drug delivery in the correct place, where you have the traditional antibiotics or paracetamols, which has got the side effects. But if we want our drug to work at the place, responding to proper stimuli, inhibiting all the side effects. So I think this principle can be exploited over there as well.
Very cool. So when you talk to family or friends or anybody who's not all that familiar with your work and describe what you've been doing to them, what kind of responses do you get?
First of all, what is synthetic biology? That is the first question.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge problem with communicating to a lot of people who aren't really in the science community, and I think that should really change. But in general, with our project, because it's kind of a bit easily accessible, a lot of people just kind of go, oh, so it's bacteria that, plum stuff, and it's a bit more complicated with that, so some underlying issues with the biochemistry, especially if you want to go to humans, obviously. But I mean, there's ways to kind of like simplify it and explain to people, and generally the responses are very, very positive. People think it's pretty cool. There's occasionally like some concerns about ethics, like about using bacteria, genetic modification. Some people are a bit icky with that, but we have a lot of safety regulations in place, and we explain them and people understand it, and they usually think like it's a great thing. It's overwhelmingly positive.
And can you think of any potential negative side effects that could come from either your work or maybe some of the other work that you've seen this weekend?
Well, potential side effects, yes. I mean, there's a lot of... I mean, the thing with synthetic biology is you have to try incredibly hard to do something that's negative. I mean, the chance of our stuff having negative effects are always there, but they're really so small. It's, in most cases, really worth mentioning them. In our case, however, we are being careful. We are not using our glue, for example. We don't put it until we've got a way of killing our bacteria effectively. So just to make sure that it doesn't go into the natural world. We're really, I mean, the chances of it being dangerous are negligible, but we're just not taking the risk either way. With iGEM in general and synthetic biology, kind of the emergence of the whole thing, there is obviously stuff with the whole genome being published of Ebola viruses and stuff like that, which, and people being more competent at kind of doing stuff in their kitchen and home. And that's obviously a concern, but I think rather than kind of block it off, because information is out there and people really want to do it, they can kind of go down a road. But in general, it's a lot harder to kind of create something that's effective at harming people, considering that evolution is, worked on this for millions of years.
Yeah.
There's a whole... So that we come up with something that is better than what evolution created anyway is unlikely unless we tried incredibly hard. So, I mean, we're aware of safety issues. We try to, if we see a potential risk, to kind of reduce it to even more, but they're usually very, very small anyway. And there's a lot of ethical considerations that people do take.
And I also want to add to that contests like iGEM is very fruitful in a sense that all the teams come in a public place, present all their projects, and they also highlight on the aspects of the projects. So it's a very good way of decreasing the communication gap between the scientific community and the people who think like that, well, the scientists might become Frankenstein, like create something that's gonna go against the society. So this is a very good competition to highlight the work of the scientists and how it's gonna benefit the future.
Very cool. And this was your first year here?
Yeah, it's our first year. We're pretty excited about being here because we're kind of completely new to the whole iGEM experience, and we didn't really know what to expect, but I think our project has been very successful overall. A lot more than we expected. The feedback has been overwhelmingly good, so we're really, really excited to be here and kind of be part of this. So it's
very cool.
really, really good.
Cool. Well, thanks a lot, guys.
Okay, thank you very much.
Bye.